Hey guys, it's Cher coming to you with Video 5. The biggest loss. Okay, so I thought about this one for a while. And what I'd like to say about the losses I've experienced, some of which I mentioned in previous videos. Of all the losses, there was a greater gain and a greater good. I truly feel that way. So if I look at the loss of losing my dad by divorce when I was 1 year old, later in life, when I went through going through deep healing and trauma, it allowed me to gain a greater sense of independence and freedom and self-esteem that I didn't realize that I was missing. Not having a father figure around, learning how to deal with dating, relationships with men, and that kind of stuff. If I look at the loss of a loved one through death, certainly is sad, but the greater good. My uncle died when I was 16. He was 40, but he left me inheritance to allow me to go to college and graduate school, almost entirely paid for, which was incredible opportunity. And in his memory, I named my son, so he always lives within, and I believe that spirits and souls remain even if the body expires. So I feel like those deceased relatives are always with me. If I look at the loss through divorce, although it was my choice, gave me certainly the legs to stand on, becoming independent, relying on myself, running a household with young kids, working full-time, meeting so many people and experiencing so much that the divorce opened up for me. So despite a loss, it was definitely a good gain in the end. And then I guess losing I'd have to say maybe last year, losing my mother on the 4th of July. My mother was was loving. I used to call her lovingly nuts. I know that sounds bad for whoever's watching this, but she did the best she could with the tools she had. She just was mentally compromised. I mean, she raised me from the time I was 1 until she died last year. My mother had loads of issues, and I took care of her at the end. I mean, for maybe, I don't know, a stacked amount of years, 7 years plus, probably more. I did all of her finances, had her taxes prepared, all of her bills, all of everything she needed. And, at the end, she had dementia, she had a fall, she was in hospice, and, it's definitely a hard conversation to have, losing your mother. But, from that, I learned also about caring unconditionally for somebody who also caused me some childhood trauma and mental discomfort, but I had a lot of allegiance to my mom. And also, she had left me some inheritance, which may make my work life easier and supporting my children. So that really was also a gain. And she did help me also while she was alive. So those things really stood out as areas that possibly were a loss, but really had something on the flip side that was a benefit. So that is that, and thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.